When people hear terms like high uric acid or gout, they often immediately think, oh no, I need to stop eating meat, no more seafood soup, I better switch to a vegetarian diet, go light on everything. If that's your immediate reaction, then I urge you to stay with me until the very end of this video. Because today, I want to warn you, this way of thinking could actually be a serious health trap. You probably wouldn't expect that some of the vegetables sitting on our dinner table, those that seem extremely healthy, are actually loaded with purines. In fact, some of them have even higher purine levels than meat or seafood. So here you are, diligently cutting out rich meats and fish, but unknowingly stuffing yourself with high-purine vegetarian bombs. You eat them in large quantities, thinking you're doing your body a favor. The result? Your uric acid levels not only don't drop, they keep rising. Gout shows up out of nowhere. It's like being punished for doing what you thought was right. So, what are these vegetables that disguise themselves as healthy but are secretly purine assassins? And how bad is high uric acid really? Is it just some joint pain and swelling? Or is there more to the story? Today, we're going to answer these questions one by one, clearly, thoroughly, and with facts. This video is packed with crucial information, a complete dietary survival guide. So do yourself a favor and bookmark it so you can come back anytime. Once you understand these facts, you'll be able to eat intelligently and live healthily. But before we expose the high-purine veggie blacklist, let's talk about what high uric acid actually does to the body, because most people seriously underestimate it. A lot of folks think, high uric acid? Oh, that just causes gout. Some joint pain. Tolerate it and move on. But that view massively downplays the real damage. Let's use a metaphor. Think of uric acid in your body like salt dissolved in water. If you drop 1 spoonful of salt into a cup of water, it dissolves. Add another spoonful, still fine. But keep adding spoonful after spoonful, eventually the salt can't dissolve anymore. It crystallizes and sinks to the bottom. That's exactly how high uric acid works in the body. Once the concentration in your blood exceeds the solubility threshold, your body can't keep it dissolved. Instead, sharp, needle-like urate crystals start forming, and these crystals settle in your tissues, joints, and even organs. These tiny crystals act like little landmines. Wherever they settle, they cause destruction. High uric acid brings at least 4 major dangers. First, joint damage, gout. This is the classic one. The needle-shaped crystals lodge themselves in your joints, especially in places like your big toe, ankles, or knees. It feels like countless sharp pins stabbing you from the inside. During an acute flare, it's not just walking that hurts. Even a light breeze can trigger unbearable pain. That's gouty arthritis. 2. Blood vessel damage, heart and stroke risk. Don't think the crystals only attack joints, they also build up on the walls of your blood vessels. Now imagine this, smooth vessel linings scratched up by jagged crystals. This causes inflammation and damage, making it easier for cholesterol and clots to stick and form arterial plaque. Over time, this narrows and stiffens the arteries, leading to high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and stroke. 3. Kidney damage, the silent killer. Your kidneys are the main system for eliminating uric acid, but when levels are too high, the kidneys become overwhelmed. Worse yet, the urate crystals can directly clog your kidney tubules like sand, forming kidney stones or causing chronic inflammation. Left unchecked, this can quietly destroy kidney function over time, leading to renal failure or uremia. At that point, regret comes too late. 4th, metabolic disruption, diabetes risk. Recent studies show that high uric acid can harm pancreatic beta cells, which are responsible for insulin production. This can trigger or worsen insulin resistance, basically throwing a wrench into your body's blood sugar regulation system. That means your risk of developing type 2 diabetes shoots up. So you see, high uric acid isn't just a small issue. It's a full-body systemic threat that affects joints, blood vessels, kidneys, and your metabolism. We need to take it seriously, starting today. Now that we've clarified the dangers, let's dive into the next, and perhaps most shocking section, the 6 high-purine vegetables that are silently wreaking havoc on your health. Let's now unveil the 6 vegetables that, despite their wholesome appearance, are secretly packed with purines, some even more than pork or seafood. For reference, the purine content in meats like pork, beef, or lamb typically ranges from 100 to 150 milligrams per 100 grams. But some of these vegetables go far beyond that. 1. Mushrooms, especially dried shiitake. Mushrooms are beloved for their rich flavor and are a go-to ingredient for adding umami to dishes. But did you know? They're actually purine powerhouses. Fresh shiitake mushrooms contain around 320 milligrams of purines per 100 grams. But when they're dried, concentrated by dehydration, that number skyrockets to 405 milligrams per 100 grams. That's several times higher than pork. So while dried mushroom soup may taste delicious for someone with high uric acid, it's practically a bowl of liquid purines. 2. Asparagus. Asparagus is often praised as a nutritious, high-fiber, vitamin-rich vegetable. It's crisp, clean-tasting, and widely loved. But here's the catch. Its purine content is shockingly high, up to 500 milligrams per 100 grams. That's even more than many types of seafood. And it doesn't stop there. Asparagus is also high in oxalates, which compete with uric acid for the same excretion pathways in the kidneys. That means it not only adds more purines, it blocks your body from flushing them out. A double blow. 3. Seaweed, especially dried nori. A bowl of seaweed egg drop soup is a common light and comforting dish in many households, but don't be fooled by its clear, simple look. Seaweed, especially dried types like nori, is another concentrated purine source. Depending on the variety, purine content can range from 150 to 500 milligrams per 100 grams. That places it squarely in the category of ultra-high purine foods. So if you frequently sip seaweed soups, you may be unknowingly adding a heavy load of purines to your system. 4. Sprouts, especially pea shoots. Springtime brings tender pea shoots to the market, lightly stir-fried. They're vibrant, green, and full of flavor. But their purine content is right up there with asparagus, tied for first place, at 500 milligrams per 100 grams. Other common sprouts like mung bean sprouts and soybean sprouts also contain high levels of purines, especially concentrated near the root base. So while they seem innocent, they can quietly elevate your uric acid levels. 5. Cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli and cauliflower. Cruciferous vegetables are often labeled as anti-cancer superheroes. Broccoli and cauliflower are rich in vitamins and minerals and widely accepted as health foods. And that's all true, but for people with high uric acid, they fall into the moderate to high purine category. That means you should eat them in moderation, not as your main vegetable every single day. Overconsumption can interfere with uric acid elimination and increase the risk of gout flares. 6. Spinach. Spinach lands in the mid-range for purine content, about 90 milligrams per 100 grams, not alarmingly high, but it comes with a hidden problem. Like asparagus, it contains a significant amount of oxalates. Oxalates don't just hinder uric acid excretion, they can bind with calcium in your body to form calcium oxalate stones. These can accumulate in the kidneys or even settle into the joints and trigger gout attacks. At this point, you might be feeling a little anxious. So many veggies we thought were healthy turn out to be minefields. So what should we eat instead? Don't worry. Coming up next, I'll share 3 vegetables that actually help reduce uric acid and are perfectly safe, even beneficial for people managing gout or high uric acid. These are vegetables that not only fill you up, but actively support your body's detox process. They are your allies in the fight against uric acid buildup. Let's take a closer look at these 3 highly recommended options. Now, let's talk about the 3 vegetables that can actually help you flush out uric acid. If you've been struggling with high uric acid levels or gout, choosing the right vegetables won't just fill your plate, they'll support your recovery. Here are 3 vegetable heroes we recommend adding to your regular meals. 1. Cucumber. Cucumber is a classic low-purine, alkaline vegetable. It contains almost no purines at all. Rich in vitamin C and potassium, cucumber plays a key role in balancing your body's water and electrolyte levels. Why is that important? Because better hydration means better uric acid elimination through urine. In short, the more you pee, the more uric acid you flush out. A chilled cucumber salad in the summer isn't just refreshing, it's a smart choice for anyone trying to lower their uric acid levels. 2nd, Napa cabbage. A staple in northern households during winter, Napa cabbage is budget-friendly, tasty, and remarkably low in purines, just 12.6 milligrams per 100 grams. That's almost negligible. Like cucumber, it's also an alkaline food, full of vitamins and minerals. When digested, it slightly raises the pH of your urine, making it easier for uric acid to dissolve and be excreted. This process is known in medicine as urine alkalization, a gentle but powerful tool for managing high uric acid. 3. Water spinach, morning glory. Water spinach, also called Kong Jin Kai or empty heart vegetable, is another low purine choice with only 22 milligrams per 100 grams. But what makes it special is a component called pectin. Pectin is a type of soluble fiber that works like a scrub brush in your intestines, sweeping out toxins and waste products. It also contains lignin, which boosts the activity of immune cells and has anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial benefits. For people struggling with both high uric acid and constipation, water spinach is practically the perfect vegetable, gentle, healing, and helpful on multiple fronts. So you see, managing uric acid through diet doesn't mean you have to eat bland or boring food. It just means making smarter choices. Swap the high-purine vegetables from the Blacklist with these 3 uric acid-friendly options, and your meals will still be colorful, satisfying, and a lot safer for your health. Now that we've covered vegetables, let's move on to fruits, a category that often confuses people. Many believe that since gout is caused by purines and fruits are low in purines, they must be safe, so they load up on fruits without concern. But this assumption, it's misleading. The hidden problem in fruit isn't purines, it's fructose. Even though fruits contain very little purine, consuming too much fructose triggers a series of metabolic processes in your liver. One of those processes consumes ATP, your body's energy currency, and produces purine as a byproduct, which in turn leads to uric acid. So in simple terms, too much fructose sets off an internal uric acid production line right inside your body. It gets worse. Excess fructose also causes insulin resistance, which reduces your kidney's ability to excrete uric acid. That's a deadly combination. More production, less elimination. This is why people with high uric acid need to be very selective with fruit. High-sugar fruits like grapes, apples, bananas, persimmons, lychees, and longans should be eaten sparingly. They're packed with sugar, which your body rapidly turns into fructose. Other fruits like peaches, oranges, and apricots contain a lot of sucrose, which breaks down into 50% glucose and 50% fructose once it's digested. So even if they don't taste overly sweet, they still fuel uric acid production. To sum it up, you can eat fruit, but choose low-sugar varieties like grapefruit, strawberries, or cherries, and always control your portions. Don't replace meals with fruit, and absolutely avoid fruit juice. Drinking juice is like drinking liquid sugar. It goes straight to your bloodstream and spikes uric acid levels. Next, let's tackle one of the most common and most confusing questions of all. Can people with high uric acid still eat meat? Now let's address one of the biggest dilemmas for people with high uric acid. Can I still eat meat? And if so, how? In an effort to lower their purine intake, many people go to the extreme and cut out meat entirely. But this approach, while well-intentioned, is not only difficult to maintain, it can actually harm your health. Meat provides essential high-quality proteins that your body needs. These are complete proteins, something that plant-based foods struggle to fully provide. If you avoid meat for too long, you risk malnutrition, muscle loss, and a weakened immune system. So, here's the good news. Yes, people with high uric acid can still eat meat, as long as you choose the right types and cook them the right way. Let's break it down into 3 key sections. First, what meats should you avoid? These are high-purine danger zones and should be kept to a minimum. 1. Organ meats, liver, kidneys, heart. 2. Rich meat broths, especially bone-heavy stocks or hot pot soups. 3. Processed meats, meatballs, sausages, deli meats. 4. Seafood, eggs and shellfish, fish roe, tiny shrimp, clams. These are the worst offenders, with purine levels off the charts. Second, what meats are relatively safe? Lean cuts of pork, beef, lamb, as well as chicken and duck fall into the moderate purine category. If your gout is not actively flaring up, you can eat these in small, controlled portions. A good daily guideline is around 50 grams, about the size of your palm. This amount provides quality protein without overloading your system with purines. Third, and most important, how you cook your meat matters. The same piece of meat can have wildly different purine levels depending on the cooking method. Here's the rule: boil, stew, and steam. Avoid frying, sautéing, or roasting. Why? Because purines dissolve in water. When you boil or blanch meat, a significant portion of the purines leach out into the broth. So if you eat the meat but don't drink the soup, you greatly reduce your purine intake. This brings us to a crucial cooking technique: blanching. Blanching meat or high purine vegetables in boiling water for a short time before further cooking is one of the best ways to lower purine content. Now, what about foods that are naturally ultra-low in purines? There are 2 standouts: eggs and milk. Per 100 grams, the yolk of an egg contains only 2.6 milligrams of purines, and the egg white even less. So, eating 1 to 2 eggs a day is an excellent way to get quality protein without raising uric acid levels. Milk is even better. Pure cow's milk contains just 1.4 milligrams of purines per 100 milliliters. Drinking a cup of plain milk, about 300 milliliters, daily has virtually no impact on uric acid. If you're concerned about cholesterol, go for low-fat or skim milk. Now that we've covered what to eat and how to cook it, let's finish with one final critical topic: lifestyle habits that support uric acid management. To truly lower and stabilize your uric acid levels, you need to make 2 daily habits part of your life. To truly bring down and stabilize your uric acid levels long-term, there are 2 essential lifestyle habits you must stick to every single day. Habit number 1, get moving, but move smart. Life is in the movement. That's especially true for those who spend long hours sitting at a desk or live a sedentary lifestyle. When you sit for too long, your body retains water and sodium. Blood circulation slows down, and your kidneys struggle to excrete uric acid efficiently. On top of that, physical inactivity leads to weight gain, especially abdominal fat. which is directly linked to high uric acid. But here's the key, not all exercise is good exercise. Intense workouts like sprinting or heavy lifting produce large amounts of lactic acid. And guess what? Lactic acid competes with uric acid for excretion. That means strenuous exercise might actually delay uric acid elimination. So what do we recommend? Moderate intensity aerobic activities like swimming, brisk walking, cycling, tai chi, or yoga are ideal. About 30 minutes a day, just enough to break a light sweat and feel pleasantly energized, is perfect. No pain, no strain, just consistency. Habit number 2, drink more water and the right kind. Hydration is the simplest and most effective way to support uric acid elimination. When your body is well hydrated, uric acid gets diluted in the bloodstream and can pass more easily through the kidneys. Aim for at least 2,000 milliliters of water daily. That's roughly 4 bottles of mineral water. If you find plain water too boring, you can also try natural herbal infusions that help support uric acid metabolism. Ingredients like chicory, kudzu root, or mulberry leaves, used in traditional medicine, can gently promote better metabolism and assist in flushing out uric acid with no side effects. All right, friends, let's wrap things up with a clear summary so it's easier to remember and put into action. Summary of today's key takeaways. 1. When it comes to vegetables, there are 6 high-purine types you should limit. Mushrooms, especially dried. Asparagus, seaweed, like nori. Pea shoots and bean sprouts. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. Spinach. Instead, focus on 3 low-purine vegetables that aid uric acid excretion. Cucumber, napa cabbage, water spinach, morning glory. 2. For fruits, the issue isn't purines, it's fructose. Fructose promotes uric acid production and reduces excretion. So, avoid very sweet fruits like grapes, bananas, lychees, apples, longans, persimmons. Also, limit those high in sucrose like oranges, peaches, apricots. Instead, go for low-sugar fruits like grapefruit, strawberries, cherries. And remember, no fruit juice, it's basically liquid sugar. 3. About meat. You can eat meat, but choose lean cuts and eat them in moderation. Good options include lean pork, beef, lamb, chicken and duck without skin. Avoid organ meats, processed meats, shellfish, rich broths. Cooking tip: always blanch meat and high-purine veggies before cooking. This helps wash away a good portion of the purines, making your meal safer. 4. For protein alternatives include eggs, 1 to 2 daily. Cow's milk, low-fat or skim. Both are extremely low in purines and provide excellent nutrition. 5. Lifestyle essentials. Drink enough water, at least 2 liters per day. Exercise moderately. 30 minutes of gentle activity daily. Avoid prolonged sitting. One last reminder: balanced eating is key. We're not telling you to avoid all vegetables, just to choose wisely. Replace high-purine options with better ones like cucumbers and cabbage. Add in eggs and milk, and you'll have a healthy, scientifically balanced meal. And of course, always consult your doctor before making major dietary or medical changes. This video is for informational purposes and cannot replace personalized medical advice. Managing uric acid is a long game. It takes patience, knowledge, and daily action. But with the right approach, smart eating, and consistent habits, you can absolutely regain control of your health and avoid the pain of gout. Take care of yourself now, and you'll thank yourself later with a free, mobile, pain-free retirement. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and share it with the people you care about. We'll see you next time here at Quotation Curation.